You're listening to Unmuted with Papamutes.
And they are self-published, so it's not like I went through a publishing company and did that whole conventional thing. There's a couple of reasons for that I won't really get into, but I had no idea what I was doing. I had no idea how I was doing it. It was kind of one of those, all right, well, here we go. I have the time. I have the motivation. I'm just dumb enough to know that, to not know what I know, that kind of thing, and lo and behold, it happened. And it was, I gotta say, even with self-publishing, it is not an easy process. There's a lot to put together. There's a lot to figure out for someone who's very tactile with my hands, but not necessarily a computer whiz. I feel pretty proud of myself for doing it, but at the same time, there's probably 5 more in me that have to come out. Wow. So it's not over yet.
So, I mean, obviously stories involving Alaska, Africa are in these books. I'm assuming, wherever you have been, you're going to be reading about that. Now, have you ever, and again, I know you traveled when you were younger, pretty much sometimes on your own. Were you ever in a situation where either it's nature or people and you were like, oh shit, Lisa, I'm a little in too deep? You know what I mean? Like scared.
Oh, there's a lot of oh shit moments. Yeah. And
I mean, what one sticks out?
It's funny because there's so many of them.
What one sticks out though that you tell us? Danger. I mean, like, oh my God, this is not good.
I would say are a couple of those definitely in Africa that happened, mostly with animals, with nature, and not knowing enough of my surroundings and what I should know, what protocol was. One of them specifically was I was traveling through Lake Malawi, and I was with a couple of people that were kind of traveling here and there. I was pretty much alone, but we were staying at this almost hostel-like place on the shores of Lake Malawi, little thatched roof hut things. And they had a big, floating dock out a little bit away from the shoreline. And there was a couple of us that had swam out there and were kind of lounging in the sun. And one by one, everybody kind of disappeared to go do their own thing. And lo and behold, I kind of look up and I'm the only one out on this float at that point, which is usually not a big deal, whatever. But then I realized there's a hippo that is coming at the float at one point. And if you don't know Africa, hippos are extremely dangerous. They kill a lot more people than lions kill every year. And large, yes. And they're not afraid of anything. And it took me a minute to kind of, look around and get my bearings and kind of think, oh shit, this is not I'm not in a good situation here. And I know that the hippo, I know logically it's not coming for me. It's just coming because there's a dock here and it wants to sit on the dock, but I happen to be on the dock and I'm not near land. So, as I have written in one of my stories, I hit the water. It took me a split second to be like, do I wait and see where it goes? Or do I jump in the water where it is and try to beat it, And I did, and I had to jump in the water. And I must have looked like one of those cartoon characters, swimming and swimming and swimming and never reaching the water, just going, my heart rate was so high. And I thought, well, if I get out of this one, okay, I need to learn this lesson. Don't be putting yourself in places where there's hippos and you're alone. I did, obviously. I'm alive. Right. I got out, but yeah, that was a pretty close call.
Interesting. So there's some advice. Don't get close to hippos. For people reading.
No, they're not nice.
It's a hypothetical. If you could live anywhere in the world right now, but you can never leave that spot for the rest of your life. In other words, Alaska, and you're there for the rest of your life, or Colorado, whatever, where would you go if you had to make that decision, but you cannot leave for the rest of your life?
Right. I think that whole not leaving for the rest of my life is kind of like a sentence.
That's what I'm asking. Hypothetical.
But I get what you're saying. Right. And I always end up back in Colorado.
Really?
I mean, I have been in other places for years, and my heart somehow finds its way back to Colorado. I love the mountains of Colorado. I love where I am. I love going hiking. I love being close to nature and knowing that there are mountain lions and bears in the backyard at night. I just love it. Yeah.
Wow.
I live at 8,000 feet. So me and my husband live at 8,000 feet. I'm now married. I didn't get married until 50 just because it didn't fit for me. But now that I am, we are renovating a house, building our own house. We're up at 8,000 feet in a mountain above a little mountain town. And yeah, we love it. It's great
Beautiful,
here.
beautiful.